Good morning. It's working? Yeah, it is working. It's working. It's working. Good morning. It is 8:08 a.m. on Sunday, August 22nd, 2021. I'm Christiana Ellis, and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. Actually been scrolling Twitter for a little bit. I'm not sure why. I just wasn't quite ready to start the video, I guess. And I was just chuckling to myself because there was a thread of people talking about mini bars, and in particular, this is mini bars in hotel rooms. And it started off with someone saying, "Oh, I'm 32 years old and I'm still paranoid that I'll be, let's see, deeply terrified that consuming anything from the hotel room minibar will bankrupt my entire family somehow." Which is, I think, funny just because I can kind of relate to that just because so many hotels, those mini bars are just like definitely, I don't want to say a scam because obviously like the intent is to serve a real, like a tiny little niche with a semi-captive audience of just saying you're in your hotel room, you want a soda or some vodka or some, macadamia nuts, and you don't want to have to leave your hotel room, and maybe you would be willing to pay more than the standard prices for that. But some of them get pretty sneaky, like you're not even allowed to pick up the container out of the little pressure sensor mini fridge, or else it charges you for it, whether you put it back full or not. But what I was chuckling for about was that one person replied that it's not impossible, I'm told, to prise off the aluminum tops, consume the white spirits, gin, vodka, martini from the minibar, refill the bottles with tap water, and reseal them. Isn't that so, Radisson Heathrow? But that's not the bit. The bit is that the Radisson Hotel's official Twitter account replied to that with, "Hello, I'm sorry to learn about this. Kindly send a direct message together with your reservation details on this link. I'm listening." And that's just kind of hilarious because, that's typical of the sort of corporate accounts sort of thing of customer service um, via Twitter, but discreetly, right? Let's handle this offline where you don't have to keep bad mouthing our business in public. Which, I don't know, maybe that actually works out sometimes, but it's just hilarious that the implication in this one being someone suggesting maybe I might have done a thing that's technically stealing, and then the other person in the corporate brand saying, "Yes, please do tell us all about that." Although I suppose it's possible that the person running the account interpreted the tweet to mean that someone discovered when trying to buy vodka from a minibar that it was actually had already happened to them and thus they were deprived. I don't know, but in any case, that's why I was laughing. I had a pretty good day yesterday, as I mentioned in the video yesterday that like the one thing that had kind of originally been on the list kind of just, we weren't playing Rime of the Frost Maiden this week, so it was really just kind of a hangout day. I did go grocery shopping, but otherwise that was pretty much the only productive thing I did all day. The rest of the day was spent watching TV and playing video games, which is not bad, and cuddling with my dog. He has a new toy that I bought at the grocery store that essentially looks like a stuffed squirrel. So like it's a circle of rope with the squirrel like its hands and feet are hanging on to the rope, and he's definitely been enjoying that. I watched the TV. I watched a couple more episodes of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, where I've now finished season 4. This is watching for the first time, and I realized that I have crossed the threshold in my brain at some point where, because I had watched all of the Next Generation and I watched it when it was new and it's just been in my life ever since I was a kid, I kind of have really those characters. I'm able to think of the characters as like, fictional but distinct people in my brain as opposed to only envisioning the characters as, performances by an actor reading a script on a set, right? Whereas watching Deep Space Nine, picking it up, there's a little bit of like, oh, these new people, they're doing a thing, um, and it was a little harder to separate the part of my brain that knows about the artifice of it all and what are they intending to do with the writing and all of these sorts of things. Um, and just this feeling of like these are the people who are not my Enterprise crew. But not that I was like making them prove themselves, but just like in my head it didn't read the same way. But I realized um, with a little bit of surprise last night that I have now watched enough Deep Space Nine that Garrick and Dax and Bashir and Cisco and all of them have kind of switched over in my head to where I can sort of think of the characters as individuals as opposed to just a role played by an actor, if that makes any sense. Uh, Gosh, you know what? I have more to say. I also watched the entire run, which is just 10 episodes, 10 half-hour episodes of a Netflix cartoon called Centaur World, which is very weird, but I enjoyed it, and I'll maybe talk a little bit more about that tomorrow. And then I also started playing the Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, also enjoying that. So maybe I'll talk a little bit more about those tomorrow when I talk to you again for 5 more minutes.